Hey, what's up guys? John Madden here from YouGoProBaseball.com, and it's a beautiful day here in Central Florida. It's actually a little cold. I'm freezing right now. But I want to talk to you a little bit about throwing some pitches. The first one is the two-seam fastball. My favorite pitch, the pitch I go with the most when I'm throwing. I feel like I have the most accuracy with it, and it's got some good movement, and I like to challenge batters with it. You know, whenever you're in doubt of throwing a pitch, when you have to throw a strike, you want to throw your best pitch, even if the hitter's strength is hitting a fastball. You know, you don't want to throw him your second best pitch. You want to throw him your best pitch. Enough about that. Let's talk a little bit about the grip and how to throw it. I got a pearl for you guys. The way I throw it, there's a couple ways you can throw it. The way I throw it is I have my pointer and my middle finger together parallel to the seams. See, as you can see there on the skinny part of the seams. So I got my pointer and my middle finger together, right? My ring finger here is lightly against the side of the baseball. My thumb is directly under my pointer finger. Some guys like to grip it a little harder than others, a little tighter. I'm more on the tight side. Some guys like to leave a little more space in there. If you can tell there, I like to grip it a little tighter. This just gives me more pressure behind the ball, and I feel like I can get more movement on it. It just feels normal to me. That's how I, did it growing up. Plus I have kind of small hands, so if you're a smaller guy, you might have to get a bigger grip, harder grip on the ball. So that's one way to grip it. Let's go. I'm gonna talk about the other ways to grip it, and then we'll go, because it's thrown the same way for every grip. Another way to grip it, I've seen some guys grip it, is taking it from where I have it and just rolling the ball up here until you get to this. So you got your fingertips on this seam right here, okay? So now this gives you extra grip and extra, something to pull on the baseball when you get ready to throw it. I never really liked this grip. For me personally, I've seen some guys with some pretty nasty two-seamers throw it this way. But for me, it always seemed to get, when it did move, it would cut a little bit and not, sink or two-seam to the right. A right-handed pitcher, a two-seamer is going to go to the right, towards a right-handed batter. A left-handed pitcher is going to go to the left, toward a left-handed batter. So when I threw it, it would kind of cut this way towards a left-handed batter, and I'm a righty. So it was doing the opposite of what I wanted it to do when it did move at all. But like I said, some guys have great two-seamers throwing it like that. And the last way you could throw it, I mean, there's probably 100 different ways you can throw it. You can throw a baseball however you want to, as long as you're making it move the way you want to. You know what I'm saying? But these are the most common ways I've seen people do it with success. Another way is going all the way across these seams right here. So now you've got two seams that your fingers are across and you're throwing it. This just gives you a little bit more to grip on. Another way I've seen guys throw it is along the horseshoe of the baseball. So like right here, throwing the two seam. That makes a little more sense to me than these. I've actually threw that one season, the two seam like that. So anyway, just play around with it. The main thing to think of when you're throwing the two seam or the sinker, the difference between the two seam and the sinker is, a two seam, a guy's going to be more, his fingers are going to be more on top of the baseball and pronating a little bit, putting the pressure on the pointer, and the ball is going to go more of a run sideways. A sinker, a guy's arm angle might be a little lower, his wrist might be a little lower, his fingers are going to get more on top of the baseball here and pronate. So the ball is going to go more downward. That's really the only difference between a sinker and a two-seamer. You'll hear guys, commentators and stuff, talk about that all the time, and they mix them up all the time. It's really the same pitch, just depending on how you throw it and what kind of movement you get, or what you want to call it. Call it whatever you want, just throw it good. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so yeah, the main thing to think about when you're throwing this pitch is really to throw, what I think about is throwing through the pointer finger. And what I mean by that is, when I'm throwing, I'm gonna, I don't really, some guys say put pressure on the pointer finger and cut through the baseball. I just like to think I'm throwing through the pointer finger. So when I'm throwing, my pointer finger is leading, right? And now when I go to release the ball, look at my fingers are on top of the ball. It's almost like I'm throwing over the baseball right here. And mine's more of a sinker, so it's gonna have that movement here, like that. And that's the main thing to think about when you're throwing this pitch. You know, either a two-seam or a sinker is really, you know, some guys are gonna have that natural pronation, like I'm saying, and some guys are gonna have to force it where they throw through that pointer finger. But that's the main thing you want to do. And the other main thing is you want to throw strikes with this pitch. It's a movement pitch. You know, you want to get movement on it. I would throw this to the thirds of the plate, especially the younger you are. The older you get and the more you master this pitch, then you could start nibbling a little more and, you know, trying to throw it on the black of the plate. But at first, man, just throw it, you know, the thirds of the plate. Yeah, I'd even suggest throwing it down the middle. Still today, I throw it down the middle a lot. You know, when I'm behind in the count or something, or even in the count, I'll just to get ahead, I'll aim it right down the middle and let the movement do the work for me. So that's a few things to think about when you're throwing the two-seam or your sinker. If you have any questions, if you're on YouTube right now, you can comment. I'll get back to you. Maybe I'll do a video response to you. If you're on the website under the throwing the two-seam or the sinker part, it's www.ugoprobaseball.com. If you are there, then you know, thanks for checking out the site. I will you know, come to YouTube, subscribe, check out the other videos because there's a ton of other videos, or just browse the website because all the videos are on the website. Anyway, thanks for coming and check out the other pitches.